Mike, from your excitement of the finish in Miami, we come to a sold-out Target Center in Minneapolis, where the Timberwolves are one win away from advancing in the playoffs for the first time in the franchise history. The Western Conference McDonald's brackets, as you can see, Sacramento awaits the winner of this one. Minnesota leads 3-1. Here we go in Game 5 in front of a sellout crowd in the Twin Cities. Brad Nessler with Dan Marley, Sean Elliott, and Michelle Tavoya. The starting lineups we'll get to momentarily as Rashawn Leonard misses the opening shot.
Well, Game 34, playoff-wise for the Minnesota Timberwolves, is this their chance to finally break through?
Here's the big ticket, Kevin Garnett. Sam Cassell for three. That's the way the Timberwolves had hoped to open it up.
And Sam Cassell, who killed the Denver Nuggets in the first game, comes out, and that's not a good sign for Denver because you know the big ticket's going to get his points. They have to control Sam Cassell.
If you don't know, Carmelo Anthony is in street clothes, will not play tonight. So Denver with a three-guard lineup. There's Carmelo Anthony on the sideline. John Barry starting for him, and he misses his opening shot. Andre Miller keeps it alive.
But look at Denver already crashing the offensive glass.
They've done that so well, especially in the last two games. And Marcus Camby hits from the outside and goes down as Kevin Garnett steps on his landing foot. Camby's played well in the entire series.
Sean, you touched on the offensive rebounds. They had 59 offensive rebounds to Minnesota's 39, and that's what kept them in most of these games. They're able to crash the boards and get second shots.
Right.
Cassell from the elbow, and he's 2 for 2.
Well, the secret of Sam Cassell, Jeff Fisdale told us earlier today that after he had that 40-point outburst in Game 1, he started doubling him, getting the ball out of his hands from then on out. If Sam Cassell continues to get open looks, watch out, he can score big.
Johnson does a great job on Nene on the baseline and forces a turnover. Our Bud Light starting lineups on the floor. Andre Miller, Rashawn Leonard in the backcourt. John Barry is the third guard. Nene, Marcus Camby. And for the Timberwolves, Sam Cassell, Trent Hassel, Latrell Sprewell, Kevin Garnett, and Irvin Johnson. And again, there's the guy that had the sensational rookie season but was injured in Game 4. Didn't miss a game in 2 years in college. Injured the other night. Didn't practice the last 2 days. Said he had a 50-50 chance of playing, and we knew at practice today that that wasn't going to happen. And these two teams have been going at it throughout this series, and there's the first hard foul of Game 5.
Well, it certainly didn't take long for that first hard foul. This is the playoffs. You see, getting the ball underneath Johnson, and Nene comes down and fouls him hard, Sean. But you got to do that in the playoff game. You can't allow him to get the easy basket.
What does Minnesota expect? You got to fight to get through this Denver Nuggets team. This Nuggets team has competed the entire series.
They call a flagrant foul. I want to say Steve Javie, Derek Stafford, and Joe Forte are officials tonight. They're three really good ones, and we kind of knew in the first 3-4 minutes of the ball game that they were going to have to make a statement about how these teams were going to play.
I understand that, but that was a flagrant foul.
That's what they called. We get another look.
Yeah, a little, slapping after the play, but a flagrant foul. Nene's a big guy.
Johnson hits them both.
That's how you make people pay for hard fouls. Irvin Johnson doing a fantastic job focusing on the free throw line.
So Minnesota opens a 5-point advantage in the opening 2 minutes, and now they'll inbound.
Steve Javie's already trying to take control of this game because Irvin Johnson got right in Nene's face after he knocked down those 2 free throws, and Steve Javie immediately stepped in.
Garnett gives it right back. Boy, Sam Cassell's on fire.
Yeah, not a good sign for Denver. Sam Cassell, who has one of the best mid-range jumpers in the league, coming out on fire.
Camby drives the lane and hands it right off to Garnett on the turnover. Andre Miller knocks it away as Sprewell was trying to get it down in transition. Sam Cassell is 3 for 3.
How are you going to guard him when he continues to move without the basketball? Look at Kevin Garnett doing a nice job also using his body to screen off Cassell's man.
Now in the pick and roll, they double team Cassell, and he goes all the way to the corner to Sprewell, who's open, in and out.
This place is waiting to erupt.
We've been waiting her up for 30 minutes. We've been sitting here, and they've been ready for a long time.
They have.
They've been ready for 7 years.
That's no doubt about that. A packed house, maybe a record crowd tonight, over 20,000, standing room only at Target Center in Minneapolis, where the Timberwolves went 31-10 in the regular season, won the first 2 playoff games here. Johnson has 4 early, and he's not a big scorer.
And it's important for Denver not to get rattled. Obviously, there's a lot of emotion in this building, and Timberwolves have come out strong. They got to just stay in the game, continue their game plan, ride out the storm, just make sure they're in it for the full 48 minutes.
Baseline jumper is short. Garnett with a rebound. The outlet pass, though, is knocked away.
But when you have Irvin Johnson getting 4 points early on, he's throwing little lefty hooks in the lane. All those points are gravy. He's not a guy who's out there to give you double-figure scoring. He's there to rebound and block shots.
Only averaged 2 points a game in the regular season.
But he just knows how to play. We talked to Flip Saunders earlier. He said he likes Irvin Johnson out there because nothing rattles him. He's been through playoff situations before.
Cassell again draws a double team. That leaves Garnett open, and he'll take it out there. Kept alive by Johnson, just on cue with defense and rebounding. Cassell finally misses.
Looked like a heat check to me.
Yep. Sean Leonard, he was hot in the last game. Had a career playoff high 28. He's fouled going around a screen. Hassel picks up his first foul. John Barry will inbound. John is 34 years old. This is his first playoff start ever. Ironically taken over for a guy 15 years his junior.
Yeah, but I said earlier, he's played at 54 games, so he's used to these kinds of experiences in the playoffs. You see Rashawn getting hot. That's one guy who's really stepped it up for the Denver Nuggets and can get it going in a hurry.
Rashawn went 6 for 7 from three-point land in Game 4.
That was a nice little step back he pulled. Hassel is a guy who's known as a defensive stopper.
Garnett picks up his first foul.
Yeah, KG and Cassell were talking about it. Hassel only got 1 vote for defensive teams, first and second. They couldn't believe it. They thought he was one of the biggest keys to this team's success, the way he can come out and guard either the point, the 2-guard, or the small forward.
And Andre Miller now with an offensive foul, and he gets in Derek Stafford's face a little bit. Jeff Bezdelik with a look on his face.
I don't know about that one.
He didn't either.
I know you want to control the game and make sure it's under control, but a call, 20 feet away from the bucket.
Kevin Garnett 0 for 2 to open the ball game. Camby's airballs it to the backside to Johnson. 11-6 Timberwolves. John Barry with a steal. Second Minnesota turnover.
John Barry just knows how to play the game. Comes from the great line of Barrys, the basketball Barrys.
Oh boy, but Sean Leonard. And so he and Cassell early are the scorers. Garnett's double teamed in the low block, and Cassell's open for 3. Got it.
And that's what happens when you get the ball to Garnett in the post. Down comes the double team. Cassell gets a wide open 3.
Andre Miller's got to rotate quicker over to Sam Cassell. There's no way you can leave him with an inch of daylight.
Barry from 15. It rolls out. Miller keeps it alive, and it goes, and he's fouled. Tough shot.
That is a man's rebound by Andre Miller at the point guard spot.
I'm telling you, that's Andre Miller's 12th offensive rebound of this series. And on the other end, Garnett's only got 8. So we're talking about a point guard who's got 12 offensive rebounds.
Well, I mean, this is just, that's a spectacular board. I mean, this guy's going in amongst guys that are almost a foot taller than he is.
And now he's got a chance to make it a three-point play, and does. So Miller with 3, and the lead is cut to 3.
I've always loved his game. He had that 1 year in LA playing for the Clippers. Got to put an asterisk next to that, because other than that, Andre Miller has had a stellar career.
Well, 2 years ago, he led the league in assists at almost 11 a game. Here's Sprewell. In and out. And it's Camby with a rebound. Camby's done a great job all season on the glass for Denver.
And Denver's done a good job of limiting Minnesota to 1 shot down the floor.
Marcus Camby has revitalized his career this year in Denver.
Nene inside. Nice move in the paint. And it's a 1-point game. So the big opening run by Minnesota when they led by as many as 7 But now it's Denver on a run of their own. Garnett draws a lot of blue jerseys, and out to Sprewell. 3.
They're just bombing away from the outside.
Talking about a guy who's been hot from behind the line. Sprewell's been shooting it well all series.
Miller almost rebounded his own miss, but it's Cassell, and he's fouled by Camby, who knew that the Timberwolves had numbers, and he picks up his first foul. But to open the game, Sam Cassell, 3 straight from different spots on the floor to give Minnesota the opening lead. Leading the way, 5:25 to go first quarter. The Timberwolves, led by Cassell, lead 17-13.
Welcome to 20th Century Fox's presentation of ESPN's Play Like There's No Tomorrow.
Sold out Target Center where Minnesota leads early, 17-13. 4th member of our team, a home game for her, Michelle Tafoya.
Yeah, but at game 4 in Denver, it was Latrell Sprewell and John Barry who really got into it after the game. These two were teammates for one season in Golden State. You might not have known that from this picture, jawing a little bit. John Barry is getting booed here in Minnesota every time he touches the ball. But he told me that this was nothing but good theater. And tonight you see them chatting. He said, I'm going to tell Latrell Sprewell, hey, that was good theater after game 4, wasn't it? We got a lot of mileage out of it. He said if Latrell Sprewell agrees with him, great. If not, they'll see how it goes from there. But so far, things have been amicable between the two of them.
John told us after practice, I said, man, we were just putting on a show. Minnesota had the show going early to lead by 7, but Denver has cut it as close as 1. Garnett has yet to score until now. Kevin Garnett averaging over 25 points a game in the playoffs. He is the highest remaining playoff scorer now that Dirk Nowitzki and Dallas were eliminated last night. Leonard. This time he misses, and Sprewell with a rebound. Garnett's going to drive for this one and throw it home. Woo. That was a man dunk.
To say the least. Are you kidding me? That took my breath away. That was absolutely amazing. He just dunked on everybody in the paint, even his own teammates.
Very great drive and draws a foul.
He got his steps together and brought that ball from St. Paul. Look at this move. Nice little up faking. Oh my goodness. Straight underarm for Nene. Whew. Oh my goodness. So you got to wipe a little orange off your face.
From floor cam, it comes right down on top of you.
Jeez. That's like when somebody just puts it in your mouthpiece.
John Barry.
It doesn't get any worse than that.
John Barry's at the free throw line. John Barry's at the free throw line after scoring in the lane there a moment ago, and he just looked over at us as they have a pretty good chant going that has something to do with John and what he does. And he looked over and he pretended to wipe away tears from his eyes like the crowd was getting to him.
That dunk was amazing.
Well, that just shows you the athletic ability of a big guy. I mean, 7 foot, starts in the three-point line, puts it on the floor, raises up, and dunks on you hard.
All 10 starters in the ball game are in the scorebook. Sprewell, here's the matchup against Barry, and he won that but didn't get it to go, and Camby will clear the glass.
Beautiful rebound by Marcus Camby. He's been able to control the glass all year long for the Denver Nuggets.
Averaged over 10 rebounds a game.
Nuggets got to do a better job defensively, though. They're allowing him to make shots from the three-point land, and they're allowing him to get into the paint and get to the basket.
How about Camby there? Had great position, just tipped it in.
He's so long and athletic. You got to put a body on him. Very adept at following up offensive shots, putting it back. Guy's so athletic around the bucket.
Sprewell drives again. Everybody hits the deck.
There you see John Barry on the free throw line. They're chanting. They're all over him.
And there John does the, I'm really crying over this.
He's been through too much to let chance bother him.
Exactly.
Must not have got all the tears out because he missed the free throw.
Minnesota leads by 4. 3:25 remaining first quarter. Miller, a nice job on Cassell there. Sprewell got Berry in the air and knocks down the jumper.
Great job by Cassell, taking the double team off the screen and roll, backing out of it and finding a Sprewell coming off the weak side for a jumper.
That was like a clinic there. Little up fake, put the ball on the floor. Nice offense by Latrell Sprewell.
Aloha Candy in for Minnesota for the first time. Sean Leonard trying to get away from Trent Hassel and can't, and Hassel gets a rebound.
Yeah, there you see Hassel playing that kind of defense that Cassell was talking about.
Another heat check for 3.
Get excited, Spree!
The lead swells to 9.
Sprewell coming off the screen. Beautiful up fake. Puts it on the floor one time, then starts talking trash to his old teammate, Marcus Camby.
And then from three-point land, where Minnesota has outscored the Nuggets by a dozen from outside the arc, and that one gives the Wolves their biggest lead. 2:47 remaining first quarter. Timberwolves now by 9.
Holla!
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by The Day After Tomorrow. When it's all on the line, play like there's no tomorrow. New Sprite Remix Very Clear. And Circuit City. Check us out at circuitcity.com.
You look in on Minneapolis, Minnesota, where tonight Minnesota leads by 9, trying to win their first playoff series ever. We welcome you back, Brad Nessler, Dan Marley, Sean Elliott. Good start for the Timberwolves. This is what they wanted to do, is get 20,000 into it with them.
Great start. They're coming out shooting great from the three-point line. They're the second best team in the playoffs shooting behind the line. They're 4 for 6 early in this game.
Well, everything started getting kind of riled in Game 4 out in Denver, and I know a lot of you have read about it or heard about it. And there was some trash talk back and forth after the game, including Francisco Elson, who was talking about Kevin Garnett with this quote: "It's a cheap shot by a low-class player, low-class type of player. I don't do that. That's gay on his part. I told him he was gay for touching me in my private parts." This is a quote from him. "I don't care about him. There's going to be retaliation on our part." Now, obviously, that's something that he wanted to take back, at least from the standpoint of he didn't apologize to Kevin Garnett. But when the gay and lesbian community, quite frankly, in the city of Denver and around the country heard about that, they weren't too happy. So he did issue an apology for his statements following the game and the confrontation with Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett, meanwhile, said, "You know what? I don't know half the guys in their locker room. I could care less what he said."
Brad, shut up and give me a kiss.
You know, I don't want to offend anybody if I do that. The people behind me might get the wrong idea. You are a handsome man, though.
The wrong idea. I've seen you two dicks together.
Sprewell guarded by Vashawn Leonard right now. Aloha Candy, Cassell, Mad Dog Madsen, and Hoiberg in the lineup for Minnesota, with Kevin Garnett getting a breather right here, and Madsen trying to track down the loose ball, steps out of bounds.
Well, Denver's got to find a way to stop somebody. Like I said earlier, they're allowing the three-point shot and allowing the Minnesota Timberwolves to get all the way to the basket for layups. Jeff
Bzdelik's team this year, a turnaround of 26 games led by Carmelo Anthony. The best this year, turnaround-wise, 26-game improvement, and it's the best ever for a team that won less than 20 games a year ago. They went 17-65 last year. That tied with Cleveland for the worst in the league, and now at 43-39, they make the playoffs. And yet, somehow, Jeff Bzdelik feels like he might not even be back. I mean, there's talk about him not coming back to coach.
Well, that'd be a real shame, because he's done a fantastic job.
Well, he's done more than a fantastic job. I mean, like Brad said, the turnaround this team has made has a lot to do with his coaching. Obviously, Carmelo Anthony is helping that situation, but Jeff has been a fantastic coach for this team. There's no way he shouldn't be coaching this team next year.
And we talked to him a little bit about that very fact after practice today, and he said, you know, I've been around so long, nothing surprises me in the NBA.
And you know, last year his team had a terrible year, and they couldn't score. I think they were last in the league in scoring, and he's totally turned it around. This year, this team led the league in fast break points at almost 20 a game. So he's just not a one-dimensional coach. He goes with what he has on his floor, and he can play or coach at any level.
It also helped getting Andre Miller and Carmelo Anthony. And also last year, you look at Marcus Camby. He was hurt a majority of that time last year. Really didn't play any games. Those three guys, you insert them into what was left, and you got a pretty nice core.
Rodney White and Chris Anderson check in.
Well, you know, he's paid his dues. He was in Miami while I was there. He was a guy kind of behind the scenes who did a lot of work for Coach Riley, and he learned from the best. So this guy definitely knows what he's doing.
And who are you going to get who's better out there?
He was assistant under Riley from 95 to 2001. Aloha Candy over Doliak. And Anderson checks in and immediately gets a rebound and immediately gets fouled.
See, that's where Minnesota needs to get points in the interior. They're shooting 62. They were shooting over 60%, and still points in the paint. Nuggets 8, Timberwolves 4. I mean, they're off to a great start, but they're all from the perimeter.
Boykins also in the lineup. The little guy's instant offense. Rodney White, we didn't even know if he'd play. Madsen trying to hold his ground, and offensive foul. Did. Flip Saunders, meanwhile, in his 9th year. Started as Minnesota's general manager in '95. And now in his 9th season's won 386 games, but never gotten out of the first round of the playoffs.
And also one of the better coaches in this league.
No doubt. Miller with a rebound off the Sprewell miss. Final 30 seconds, first quarter.
It's also no coincidence that the Timberwolves started making playoffs and Flip Saunders became the coach.
Anderson rejected by Aloha Candy, and back comes Minnesota with the last chance possibly. About a 1-second difference on the game clock and shot clock. And Cassell pulls it out. The fans are all standing as the first quarter is set to come to a close. Cassell over Miller. Got it! What a quarter by Cassell. Minnesota leads by 11. Cassell has led the way with a dozen. Much like game 1 when he had 40. Sam, the wily old veteran, is 5 of 7.
And that move is just unstoppable. Andre Miller was all over Sam Cassell for that step back along the baseline.
Game 5, first quarter belongs to Minnesota.
You're watching 20th Century Fox's presentation of ESPN's Play Like There's No Tomorrow.
First quarter belonged to Minnesota on their home floor. They lead 28-19, just about set to start the second quarter at Target Center. Kevin Garnett got his second foul at the 4:23 mark. Minnesota led by 6, and without him, they've gone on a 7-4 run. So they've done well without their main man. Pig Miller didn't want our camera anywhere near KG, I guess. That might be the only time we see Pig tonight.
Well, you know why? Because the camera adds 20 pounds.
And Pig can't afford to add 20.
Oh, come on. I didn't say that.
No, well, you did. That was Dan Marley.
Sean.
He was an old teammate of yours. You can say that, right?
I know, but he got mad at me last time. So.
Oh, okay. Minnesota turns it over. Their 5th turnover. Leonard wide open for a 3. Knocks it down. Deshaun Leonard.
He is the reigning three-point champion.
And that's what Denver's got to do. They got to force some turnovers to come down and get some buckets. And with that three-point shot, Leonard just broke the Denver Nuggets record for three-pointers in the series, Sean.
Wow. Talk about a guy that did his homework. Madsen inside.
Well, you know, that's his territory, Brad. You have to understand that. This is a guy who is breaking three-point records all the time.
Deshaun Leonard in the regular season had 106 threes. He's got 11 now in the playoffs. Here he is again, and this time Sprewell blocks the shot and then comes up with a steal. The lead pass to Cassell, and he's going to shoot it. Aloha Candy keeps it alive. Minnesota will reset it. Aloha Candy bumped by Now they're going to call offensive foul on him, his second.
I still don't think the Timberwolves, they have 2 buckets in the paint. They've got to get something down here in the low block. They can't continue to rely on jump shots. Maybe against the Denver Nuggets, they're an inexperienced ball club, they're an AC. But going forward, if they do happen to move on, you've got to face Sacramento or the Lakers or the Spurs. In one of the next rounds, you've got to get interior buckets.
Well, the only way they're going to get interior buckets is what? Host Sam Cassell. I mean, they don't have any guys that go inside.
Boykins outside. Andre Miller, another offensive rebound, and Sam Cassell went down, and he's hurt. Not bad enough to come out, but he'll limp the dribble up court.
Sam's a gamer. He's not going to come out for anything. You can cut off his right foot. That kid's going to keep playing.
This year became the oldest player to make his first NBA All-Star game. Sprewell is having some fun.
Well, you can tell he's used to these big game situations. He thrives on this kind of atmosphere.
Madsen the rebound, the outlet to Cassell on the run. Got around Boykins, and he'll shoot it again, and he's fouled.
Sam is so clever using his body. Once he gets you behind him, there's no way you're getting back in front of him. He just continues to move his body, uses the dribble wisely. There's not another guy like him in the league as far as point guards that are just so clever. The guy can get his shot off against anybody. I mean, I've had to guard Sam Cassell in the block area, and he's using his body, little up fakes. You know, he's just shifty.
There's no way he got a shot up over you, Sean.
No.
No way.
Shouldn't have anyway. I should say he's the second oldest first-time All-Star. I may have said oldest. Michelle?
Well, Latrell Sprewell is very close with Sam Cassell, and he said of Cassell, he probably talks too much at times, and I find myself trying to get between him and the refs. He's just done this in his entire career. He says you can't control the refs, so you got to try to get to him and get him back in focus on what he's trying to do. So far in this series, he's been pretty focused.
Sam talks so much, I think he talks to himself a lot of the time. Garnett snatches out the rebound.
Can't believe Sprewell has to get in between them. Like, he's saying Sam talks too much.
Yeah, you know you're out of control when Sprewell's your mediator.
Garnett knocks it down from the outside. The lead is up to 13. And again, the crowd comes to life for the Wolves. Camby, nice reverse layup.
That was funny, man.
Cassell trying to get around Leonard, and he draws another foul.
Yeah, once Sam gets his shoulder past you, game over, and you're in a lot of trouble. Just too smart.
A timeout with 8:51 remaining in the half. Minnesota shooting 58%. They've got a big lead.
You're watching the NBA playoffs on ESPN. ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Wendy's new Chicken Temptations. It's better here. And the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution.
Purple and gold, that's all I bleed, that's all I know. L.A. Oh boy.
Oh boy's right. On Sunday, it's Lakers Spurs Game 1 on ABC. The afternoon tips off with GMC hang time at 3 Eastern, and then at 3:30, Game 1 should be great. Right now, let's go back to Brad.
All right, Kevin, in Minneapolis, it's been the Sam Cassell show so far. He's got 14 points. Minnesota has an 11-point lead. In Game 4, Sam was going to take the ball out of bounds and actually sort of push Jeff Bzdelik, and I think that's, I'm sorry, Coach, I didn't know it was you, but it just shows the intensity of what this playoff has become. He had the 40-point game in the opener, then 12 and 10 in the middle 2 games, 15 in Game 4, and tonight he's lit it up for 15 already, and we still have 8:51 to go in the half.
I know, I was excited here. I was with Sean trying to get in the front seat of the car to get here this afternoon to the arena. This is high intensity here. This Minnesota crowd's been waiting for this moment a long time, and they want in the worst way to move on and get out of this first round.
I just love the way the guy was dancing during the break.
Yeah, you may have seen that in our billboards there before Kevin in the studio. That guy, I think he's got a permanent spot on the dance line here for Minnesota.
I was about to say, Brad, control your relatives.
The Timberwolves have never trailed. Their biggest lead is what they have right now. Garnett. Nice move on the baseline, and then one too many steps. Sixth Minnesota turnover. I think if you told the Timberwolves they'd have a 13-point lead with 8 minutes to go in the half and Kevin Garnett wouldn't be the major factor, he certainly has been so far. Those are the best numbers in the playoffs. Haven't needed it.
Those numbers are God.
They really are.
Well, you got two guys that are stepping up like they've done all season, Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell, who are just hot right now. And you know the big ticket KG is going to have his moments in this game.
Sprewell with a rebound off the Camby miss.
I know Camby's knocked down that top of the key jumper, but that time he's got to show KG the ball and go to the bucket.
Minnesota has another three. This one from Derek Martin. 6 out of 8 outside the arc. The Timberwolves lead by 16.
It's quickly getting out of control. Denver needs a good offensive possession.
And that wasn't it. Sprewell another rebound.
There's no way you can climb back into a ball game by coming down, making one pass, and taking a tough shot. Got to move that basketball. You got to do it collectively as a group.
Garnett can be on him in the paint. Tough shot. Garnett's got 8. The lead is 18. Denver calls timeout again. They're loving it in Minneapolis. First it was Cassell, then Sprewell. Now their MVP starting to take over. 7:17 till halftime. Minnesota in command.
What's that?
Wendy's new spicy chicken sandwich.
Oh, here we go.
Whew, that's hot. Good thing I got a biggie.
This is so embarrassing.
Sorry, it's new. Even crispier than before. You want one?
No.
I'd like one.
Do you have another? Yes, I do.
Wendy's new crispier spicy chicken. One of our 3 new Chicken Temptation sandwiches.
Sir, no outside food. Either give it to me or you'll have to leave.
I'll see you in the car. Excuse me.
And our pickup window's open till midnight or later.
Start the car.
.200 horsepower V6.
Welcome back to the 2004 NBA playoffs on ESPN.
7:17 remaining in the half. Minnesota leads Denver 44-26. The Nuggets could use some offense. Unfortunately, a lot of it could come from the guy that's in street clothes with Michelle Tafoya.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony has not missed a game since his sophomore year in high school. How tough was the decision to sit out tonight?
I didn't really want to sit out, but Kiki told me after watching me work out this morning that it wasn't worth risking.
Yeah, you said this is your rookie season. You don't want to risk your future. How much was that weighing on you?
Well, I was 75% sure that I wanted to play, but the other 25, I was just like, nah, I didn't want to test it. I got a long future ahead of me.
Now, you said missing your game in your sophomore year of high school was excruciating. You were wondering how this experience was going to be. What's it like for you on the bench tonight?
Well, it's tough, especially after we down 44-26. It's tough to just watch my teammates go down like that. But I got faith in it. Hopefully we can pick it back up.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about all the trash talk, Carmelo, that went on in Denver, especially after Game 4, and you said tonight punches will be thrown. They might need extra security. What was your intention behind that comment?
ESPN needed the ratings, man. I just wanted to go out there, have fun, motivate them, and motivate my teammates.
All right, Carmelo, sorry to see you sitting. Thanks for talking with us.
All right.
Okay, back to you guys, Brad.
Nice for Melo to worry about our ratings.
Should have suited up and played then, Melo.
Would have been better tonight, wouldn't it? Hoiberg outside.
No, to be honest, I think that's a great decision by the Nuggets. I mean, this kid's 19 years old. He's had a fantastic year, and to play in this game where something more could come with that knee injury, smart move of keeping him up.
Jeff Bezdelik brought up Grant Hill in a playoff series when he was with Detroit, and he said, you know, he played and he probably shouldn't have, and it ruined his career, even though Grant hopefully's career isn't
over. And that was
over.
against Miami, the team I was on, and he, wasn't even close to being 100%. And Jeff was right. He shouldn't have played this.
Jeff was an assistant at that time when you were playing there, and that's what he was talking about. So they were obviously looking for the future. They weren't just looking for Game 5, and it is too bad that he can't be out here.
I think he still gave me 30 and he was hurt.
Yeah, probably. Loose ball, Nuggets turn it over.
Nuggets just been completely out of sync right now.
Well, you know, in the regular season, they went to the free throw line almost 26 times a game, and they've only won about 18 in this series, and they've only been there twice tonight. So they got to be more aggressive, like you said, and take the ball to the basket.
They were in the top 3 in the league in free throw attempts on the regular season. They are last in the playoffs in free throw attempts. Kevin Garnett on the drive is fouled.
I thought KG was going to posterize somebody else.
He wanted to.
How many times do you see people jumping and biting on ball fakes by 7-foot or 7'1" players on the perimeter?
That's because he's that good, and he can do that many things. And now I go to the free throw line. 14 consecutive playoff double-doubles, 71 in the regular season, the most since Hakeem Olajuwon in the 92-93 year. So it's been over a decade since anybody put up that many double-doubles in a single season. Garnett hits a free throw. Reminder, NBA, on TNT, if this game should go to a Game 6, it would be Minnesota Denver. Monday on TNT, they'll start New Jersey and Detroit in the next round, 8 o'clock in Game 1 there. Garnett rips both. He's got 10, and the lead is now 20.
Denver just lost their composure a little bit. The Nuggets, the Timberwolves came down, knocked down some 3 balls, and all the Nuggets responded with was bad offense.
Camby way outside.
So
they'll give him that one.
He could have taken that ball inside. There was no one in front of him. Got to quit settling on those outside shots.
Garnett asking for the ball now, demanding it almost, but he'll give it back to Sprewell for another 3. This one's in and out.
Wow, and they're getting whatever they want on the perimeter, wide open looks.
And a steal, and now it's Derek Martin, coast to coast. Can he win the battle? Nope. Oh! It got rejected by Nene. And I mean sent way out there. And so was Martin, sent out to the first row anyway.
Well, they got to take some of this aggressive play that they're showing on the defensive end and transfer it to the offensive end where they go strong to the basket. And that's how the jump shots you see here. Nene saying, no.
Nene needs to run the bases after that one.
Garnett off the inbound, finds himself open on the baseline. And now it's Kevin Garnett that's taking over. 8 in the quarter, 12 in the game. The lead is 50-28. Minnesota so far right on target. 50-28.
Kevin Garnett's yelling at Flip Saunders.
Kevin Garnett has led Minnesota to a 22-point lead with under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And his second quarter has been nothing short of brilliant. He had a quiet 4 in the first quarter. And then he started becoming the focal point for the Timberwolves, be it as a shooter or as an assist man. He's done everything. And he's done it inside, outside, in the paint. And even posterized a few people in Roots. Eight in the quarter, 12 in the game for Kevin Garnett.
He went to the huddle and he was yelling at Flip Saunders. I mean, he's very excited right now, to say the least.
Andre Miller inside. Would have been a tough shot. He got it back somehow. and then lost it. Sprewell, the scoop to Martin. This time he lays it in. Minnesota on a 22-4 run.
Right now, it's just Murphy's Law for the Denver Nuggets.
Sprewell, look out.
Coming up in moments on the Toyota Halftime Show, special guest Richard Jefferson in the house. And
how you doing?
Richard, you're just hanging out right now, right?
Just
you got
hanging
5
out,
days
watching
of rest.
some games. We got 15 TVs going. I'm having a good time.
Your thoughts on the first half, Stephen A?
Well, not surprising. I told you this series was over, and it is over. Actually, Greg Anthony and Richard Jefferson are more intimidating to me right now than the Denver Nuggets are to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Greg?
You know, the Nuggets look a little flat.
A little.
They could use your nephew right now, couldn't they?
They got 4 flat tires.
Richard is here. He will join us and hang out through the half. These two, they're not going to stop talking. Let's go back to Brad.
All right, fellas, we'll see you in about 4 minutes as we take a look at our Chevrolet game track. And right now for the Timberwolves, they look like the Chevrolet Super Sport Roadster. Cassell early was the sport car with 16, 5 out of 8 from the floor. They've been dominant from outside the arc. They're 6 out of 10, 60% from three-point land. And Denver, as the guys were saying, could use some offense. Boy, I guess so. And they're right now just hanging by a thread in this ball game. The fast break points, all Minnesota. They are shooting 61% from the floor. That was the last field goal as Sprewell took it the distance and lit up the crowd.
Said there, the Timberwolves are 6 of 10 from three-point line. Seems like 16.
Sure does. But Sean Leonard is the only guy who's had any offense tonight for the Denver Nuggets so far anyway.
Well, with all the talk of how this is going to be an aggressive game, only one team really showed up there. Minnesota's the more aggressor on offense and defense. But it doesn't help or doesn't hurt that they got this big crowd behind them.
Right. Minnesota turns it over. But for Denver, they've got as many turnovers as they do field goals this quarter. 5 each.
I don't think John Barry's going to be buying a summer home here.
Oh! Marcus Camby throws one in.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't keep settling on those outside jump.
Camby just got a tee because he kind of had something to say to the Minnesota bench after he got that dunk. And Steve Javie said, "I will have none of that."
The refs are taking no guff tonight. Here's a look. Camby got a nice screen off there and threw it home. And then that was the Minnesota bench in the general vicinity.
You know,
Michelle, I know you were close.
I was close. When he turned to the bench, he looked at him and said, "What's up?" They didn't like it. A couple of them almost started to stand, but believe it or not, it was Sam Cassell who pulled everyone down, and the tee went against Camby.
Well, Michelle, I can tell you what's up. It's Minnesota's field goal percentage, 60%. I can answer that one for you, Marcus.
Hoiberg hit the technical, and Minnesota with 3 minutes to go in the half has a 55-32 lead.
Well, you know, there's a time and place to talk trash, but when you're down and you're almost doubled up on the scoreboard, that's not the time.
Oh, and Sprewell just shot that right through Camby, and now he talks to him on his way down court.
You're right, Sean. If that dunk was worth 25 points, and then he can say that. But then,
exactly.
Yeah, you see the two friends there. Sprewell made the shot and came down and had a little something to say to Camby, and Camby just laughed it off.
And Flip Saunders, for probably the 5th time in this half, just walked over, got Sprewell's attention, and put his palms down as if to say, Spree, would you cool down just a little bit?
No, Flip's talking to himself. Spree's not going to have any of that. He's having too much fun.
Garnett is fouled. And now, big smile on Sprewell's face. This was the talking going on, and this is where Camby looks at the officials and goes, hey, how come he doesn't get a tee?
You can see they're old friends, and Latrell's just sticking his tongue out, and Marcus was laughing about it.
And now the chance of MVP go around target centers. Kevin Garnett goes to the free throw line. And this one's in and out. You're going to have some playoff fun with your friends. Go to NBA.com to send a condolence e-card to rub it in after a big win. NBA playoffs are online at NBA.com. Sprewell comes out to a standing ovation from the Minnesota crowd.
I guess he found one way to keep him quiet for a while. He's going to put him on the bench. That's the only way he's going to control him.
I mean, if I did that much yelling, I might need a long nap. These guys run up and down the floor combined with all that trash talking.
Garnett missed both free throws. The lead still is 25 with 2:35 to go in the half. Boykins will take one and knock it down. Earl Boykins with his first basket.
Product of Eastern Michigan, a good mid-American school.
Correct you are, sir.
Thank you.
Hoiberg almost got it to go. Rebound off to Doliak, and now John Barry getting booed as he takes it all the way in, and Olowokandi blocks his shot. Barry from the corner, got it. John with 4.
It only took him a 21-point deficit to start moving the basketball.
Martin running the point, and he's going to be called for an offensive foul. John Barry on that drive has his shot blocked by Olowokandi, and then lo and behold, the ball comes around the court. John doesn't give up on it, finds himself an open spot, and does what he can do so well. Boom.
See, that's a gamer. Now, you have to love him as a teammate. If he can come out and give you that type of effort, especially when you're down almost 100 or whatever it is now.
100. Boykins. Earl's got his second jumper from the outside here in the last minute. And we're down to the last minute, 35. Lead's been sliced into a little bit, 57-38.
Well, the only thing that's kept Denver around is their second chance poise to be able to get on the offensive rebounds. And you saw Camby hustle down there and got John Barry a second chance.
Barry goes to the floor with Olowokandi, and he throws it away. Good hustle defensively by Denver.
Well, Brad, one thing I will guarantee is Denver won't give up. They're going to fight to the very last drop because Jeff Benzdelik is that type of coach, and these guys are that type of players. That's why they had such a successful season, because they do play hard every minute they're on the floor.
You were telling us today how much of Pat Riley's reflected in Jeff and the way he talks and stuff with us after practice today. Doliak knocks it down.
Well, just watching the shoot around this morning and the terminology and the things he was trying to do defensively remind me when I played in Miami. So, like I said earlier, there's not a better guy to learn from than Pat Riley.
Minnesota's going to take a timeout. Their once 26-point lead has been cut into by Denver's 8-0 run in the last minute and a half. Minnesota's lead has been cut, if you want to call it that, to 17. Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, you know, yesterday I came to practice here with the Timberwolves and asked Trenton Hassel, who's one of the younger players on this team, what Kevin Garnett is like before games. And this is what he told me. He said he's very focused and quiet. You don't want to disturb him. He stretches, he doesn't talk, but that sets the mood for the locker room. Here is Kevin Garnett in the pregame, setting the mood, guys.
I can tell you that face was already on him at 10:30 this morning when he was out by the trucks when he pulled in with his car. He did say hello and shook my hand, but there wasn't a lot of chit-chat, and there never is in his pregame ritual.
That was scary.
Barry forces the Minnesota turnover.
Looks like he should have been chanting with some incense burning.
Barry gives it back to Camby on the baseline, and Denver slowly works its way back in it.
That's exactly what they have to do, Brad. They got to be aggressive and take the ball to the basket and get to the free throw line.
Well, that lead that looked insurmountable has been cut down to 15. So take a look at Camby going up and around and drawing the foul and a chance for a three-point play.
You know, he's not going to get challenged a lot if he takes the ball to the bucket. You saw when he got that dunk, Olowokandi moved right out of the way.
Sure glad those guys are wearing them stretch pants for those floor camps.
You talked about Camby and the impact he's had on this team. He played 72 regular season games. Up until this year, he had never gone through a season playing more than 63 games due to injury problems. When he's healthy, he's pretty darn good. And he's got 13 points And a bunch of rebounds here in the first half for Denver.
Terrific season. Just got to continue taking that ball to the bucket.
Sprewell almost turned it over again. Madsen down the lane, blocked by Camby. Back come the Nuggets in the final 10 seconds.
Oh, and he got away with a double dribble there.
Boykins airballed one, but Marshawn Leonard was underneath for the basket.
That was Mark Madsen trying to go top shelf over Marcus Camby.
The lead of 26 has been cut to 12. Minnesota maybe got a little bit too full of themselves. And Camby blocks the last shot of the half. 13-point run by Denver. 13-0 to finish the half. So Minnesota led 54 to 28. And now here at halftime, they lead only 57-45. Very much a ball game when once it didn't look like that was going to be the case. Toyota halftime show's coming up, but right now let's check in with Michelle with Latrell Sprewell.
Yeah, Latrell, they cut your lead from 26 to 12. What happened out there in the last few minutes?
Well, our second unit didn't do a great job of holding that lead. You know, we had KG in foul trouble, and I pretty much played the first half, so coach took us out, and you know, we lost a little bit, so we just got to get it back.
Yeah, how under control had it felt until then?
I mean, we had the game under control. We were playing well, moving the ball, getting stops, playing with a lot of energy, and you know, like I said, that group that came in, they just didn't do a good job, so hopefully second half they will.
Speaking of the energy you're playing with, a little bit of yapping, Marcus Camby, what's being said out there?
Nothing. MC and I are good friends, so it's just a little friendly trash talking, nothing major.
All right, thanks for stopping, Latrell.
All right.
Back to you guys.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Latrell Sprewell with a 15-point first half. Sam Cassell had 16. Toyota halftime show's coming up. Kevin and the gang are in the studio talking about the Heat with a come-from-behind win. They're on fire. Richard Jefferson's in the house with us tonight in the studio. The Jason Williams verdict. All that and a lot more. They'll have their thoughts on our first half from Minneapolis. An intense Minnesota team. Its crowd is geeked, but their lead has been cut.
Welcome to the Toyota Halftime Show.
Sam Cassell having a flashback to game one of this series. He was 5 of 8 from the floor, 16 points for Sam. Spree had 15, KG 12, the big three, leading the way, but hold on. You know, Times Square recently celebrated its 100th anniversary. They better hold off on the celebration in Minnesota because the Denver Nuggets closed that half on a 13-0 run. You know, when you talk about the New Jersey Nets, yeah, there's Jason Kidd and Kenyon Martin, but when those guys were out, there was one guy who fueled the Nets' run, and that's Richard Jefferson, averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists in the playoffs, and right now, just hanging out with us here.
Just
in
hanging
Times Square.
out.
Just hanging?
Just
Richard,
hanging out.
Richard has had 5 days off since you guys finished the first round. What are you doing?
Just hanging out, resting, getting a lot of lifts in, a lot of extra shots in, watching tape of, you know, various teams. Now it's more Detroit Pistons, but we're just hanging out, relaxing, having a good time.
What are you looking forward to as you get ready to face Detroit? What's the biggest challenge?
Well, this is going to be our most competitive series that we've had in a while because we understand that they're a much improved team with Rasheed Wallace now, and with their length, they add a lot of problems to the mix. So, you know, hopefully, you know, we can get everybody healthy and get everybody going.
You know, some folks wrote you off. I'm not going to say who, but some folks.
I know.
You know, some folks wrote you off.
But people didn't understand. We knew that Jay Kidd and Kenyon were healthy.
May I speak?
Go ahead.
Now, this man educated me. We were at the Continental Airlines Arena. Now, I'm saying Jason Kidd, Kenyon Martin, and not 100%. That was the reason for my assessment, thinking the Knicks would lose in 7 games instead of getting swept. You know, instead of getting swept. That's what I was thinking. Did I not apologize?
You did apologize.
Did I not acknowledge I was wrong?
You were the bigger man and you apologized.
Thank you. Those two wouldn't do that. That's all
I don't think they would ever say that.
There was no need. We would never said that in the first place.
I picked them to win the series, remember?
So did I.
Let's fast break through the first game of the night while Stephen A. turns into Mr. Apologist. New Orleans and Miami. This series tied at 2 games apiece. Baron Davis coming off that 23-point, 10-rebound performance. He was fabulous in the first half.
I mean, he basically carried his team on one leg, and, you know, the poise and patience on that three-pointer, that's just a phenomenal play. And, you know, now he's feeling it. I mean, he just big boyed Eddie Jones there. Oh.
Yeah, but a third quarter, Rafer Alston drops the dime to Brian Graham for the big bucket, cuts the lead to 61-57. Then L.O. the 3, he had 16 points. Eddie Jones also in the mix, Stephen.
He was aggressive tonight. Even though he shot 4 for 14 in the first half, he was looking for a shot, and that's how you knew Miami would probably pull it out tonight.
And here is the killer. Dwayne Wade, the 3, 21 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists for the rookie. And how about the Heat winning a huge game, 87-83? Eddie's alive and kicking, huh?
Eddie is a guy, when he's aggressive, it doesn't matter. He could be 0 for 10, 10 for 10. When he's aggressive, it completely changes the dimension of your team.
A lot of people wrote him off, too. No. I'm not saying you did that, Stephen A.
Thank you very much.
Okay, see, you got the Philly boy right there.
See how quickly he got defensive? That's right, I got defensive. That's a Philly boy right there.
Dwayne Wade with 21 points. Dwayne, congratulations on the victory. How have you managed to have the composure right here in the playoffs, your first run in the playoffs, to take these shots at the end of the game as you have now in Game 5 and Game 1?
Well, first of all, I grew up watching one of the best do it in Chicago. So, I grew up watching that. So, anytime I get the opportunity to do it, I ain't got no pressure on me. I'm just going to shoot the ball, and I know I'm blessed, and I'm not worried if it go in or not, as long as I have the confidence to shoot it.
Is Michael Jordan in your head while you're doing this, or as you're coming out of the timeout?
I don't necessarily say when I come out of the timeout he's in my head, but I always remember what he said, and he said, he probably missed more game winners than he hit. And, you can't worry about it. You just got to shoot them, man, and that's what I do with confidence.
Boy, he's off to a great start. Great game for Dwayne Wade. We take a look at our McDonald's NBA brackets, and the only thing to be decided in the East right now in that Heat-Hornets series. Meanwhile, Nets still waiting after they dispatched the Knicks in 4 games. And was there a little, how good did that feel to be? Because there was a lot of hype and a lot of talk, Richard.
There's a lot of hype and a lot of talk, but unfortunately, Tim Thomas and Allen Houston didn't get an opportunity to play. And
unfortunately for who?
Well, I'm saying if you're a real competitor, and I think that's what most of the guys on our team are, then you want to beat a team at their best. You don't want a team to go down and try and beat them and then really try and talk trash. That's why I wasn't saying anything.
Would you have swept the Knicks if Houston and Thomas were healthy?
Yeah.
No, I'm not mad at you.
I won't go there, but I think you definitely win the series right now.
By me saying no, that means that would imply that we're going to lose a game.
Let's talk about this next series, and the fact that I think you guys, your best 3 are as good as anybody playing in the NBA. But 4 through 10 sometimes not on the same level that you need if you want to win a championship.
Well, we were fortunate in the sense that when J. Kidd and Kenyon went out, we had guys, Rodney Rogers, Lucius Harris, really step up their game. And they've continued to play with that kind of confidence. They got their legs back. They got their win. They have their confidence up. So, now we're playing lineups with Rodney Rogers and Kenyon Martin both in there, and that adds a complete new dimension to our team.
Can't wait till that series starts.
No, it should be a great series. And, Richard, we'll keep our eyes on you, but there's still plenty more to get to. Coming up, news on the Jason Williams trial. Latrell Sprewell, 15 points in the first half. His team clinging to the lead.
This halftime show is presented by the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Show.
Former New Jersey Nets star Jason Williams was found guilty on 4 of the 8 charges he faced, but was acquitted on the most serious charge of aggravated manslaughter. Sentencing has not been scheduled in his case yet. Meanwhile, another half of basketball to go. Hey, Richard, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Hey, my pleasure. I enjoyed every second.
I know you got to rest. I know you got to go rest.
Yeah, got to go rest.
You got to get ready. I know.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This halftime show is presented by the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. You're watching the 2004 NBA Playoffs on ESPN.
Just about set to start the third quarter at Target Center in Minneapolis, and the Timberwolves lead the Denver Nuggets 57-45. But what was once a 26-point lead has been cut down to 12. The big 3 for Minnesota, they've been big. Kevin Garnett, Latrell Sprewell, and Sam Cassell all in double figures as they have put together 43 of the team's points in the playoffs. They're scoring 70% of the team's points tonight. They're on a 75% clip. Nuggets have the advantage in second chance points. They did a nice job in about the last 5 or 6 minutes of that second quarter to go on a run of their own and close the gap. I don't know if this has left the door open for Minnesota to stumble, but Denver made a nice run.
Well, Sprewell went out, and Denver made a 13-0 run to close the half. So they got their confidence back. They took a big hit by Minnesota, and they bounced back. So anything can happen.
When Sprewell went out, Sean, it kind of went downhill for Minnesota.
It really did, because he provided all the energy and all the emotion, but they need to rein a little bit of that in because they still have 24 minutes to play, and the Nuggets are closing.
Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, I asked Jeff Bzdelik what he expected from his team tonight, and he said, I never know what to expect from these guys. But he noted the discrepancy in free throws. 11 in the first half by the Wolves attempted, just 3 attempts by Denver. He said we need to drive and dive and attack the basket and get some easy buckets. He's probably not too unhappy with that shot by Cassell, but he said we gave up too many open looks early. I don't know why that is. We certainly didn't plan it, Brad.
Flip Saunders, on the other hand, has always said the most important 20 minutes in a game are the first 5 of the game, the last 5 of the second quarter, the first 5 of the third, and the last 5 of the fourth quarter. Well, the first 5 of the first quarter was awesome for them. The last 5 of the second quarter was terrible. And now we'll see how the first 5 of the third quarter goes.
Oh, because you're coming out of the locker room and you want to continue to set the tone. You don't want to come out and be lazy and bring no sort of energy at all.
Guys, you and I, the 3 of us went out on the floor at halftime, and the Timberwolves were out, I think, with 9 minutes left in the half to shoot. Apparently, Flip didn't have a lot that he needed to say or thought he had to say because they were out here early, Dan.
They were out here awful early, and like you said, he must not have had much to say because they were cruising it along in this game as you look at Hassel with his first bucket. So they came out early, and he's probably just told me, you know what, this first 5 minutes, like you said, is very important. Let's go out with the same aggressiveness and jump on these guys again.
And Denver turns it over.
They turned it over twice here. You let Sam Cassell sneak in, taking that ball away from Marcus Camby. There are 4 Nuggets around. It's a 4-point swing there.
Camby with another rebound.
Cassell's trying to get out there and get this momentum turned their way in the third quarter, much like he did at the first quarter, but he's missed his first 3 shots here in the second half.
Andre Miller on the baseline, cut off by Cassell. 6 on the shot clock. He'll have to take the jumper there, and got it. Miller with 9.
This crowd has quieted down. Not the same type of spark or enthusiasm also by the Timberwolves.
Sprewell gave up a 3. And Hassel knocks down his second jumper of the third quarter.
See, that's where the Nuggets really got to tighten up. They can't allow guys like Hassel and Irvin Johnson to continually provide supporting points.
Andre Miller's hit 2 in a row.
You already have your big 3 killing you. 43 of the 57 in the first half. You've got to be able to contain the role players.
Cassell, a pick and roll, leaves Garnett open. He goes into Johnson, just what Sean was talking about. You don't expect points from that guy, and he gets them.
You got to stop somebody.
Well, it's just bad defense. I mean, they rotated on the pick and roll to guard Kevin Garnett. Nobody came from the weak side to get Leonard or Johnson. You got a wide open bucket. So Denver's just doing a bad job here at the beginning of defense.
There's Barry and Sprewell going at it. Barry trying to come up with a steal, and it's going to be out of bounds to Minnesota.
You're fighting for your season. John Barry doing a nice job. He's just been all over the floor tonight.
And that's the last place he wants to be, is over in their bench, because I don't think they like him.
He doesn't want to go in the stands either. The crowd doesn't either.
I must admit, there are some creative signs out here.
Here's the pick and roll again. Garnett moves it around the perimeter. Sprewell got Barry in the air. Johnson almost got the rebound, but Barry instead does. And he has it stripped by Sprewell. $16 turnovers, 4 in this quarter already. And now Camby with kind of a cheap foul to pick up his third against Kevin Garnett.
Denver's missed some golden opportunities to really cut into this Minnesota Timberwolves lead.
Doing it, of course, without their rookie sensation, Carmelo Anthony. Nuggets with the 4 turnovers in this quarter.
Every possession counts. You can't get cavalier with the basketball, just start throwing it all over the place.
It's a pick and roll show for Cassell and Garnett, and finally KG will put it off the glass, kept alive. Nope, not quite. Johnson stepped on the baseline.
Brad, I don't know, we were talking about Carmelo, and Sean had to throw a cavalier thing in just to bring in LeBron.
He did, didn't he? I mean, he did. He always finds a way.
Always has to bring it. I know what you're thinking.
You guys are sneaky. Carmelo, of course, finished second to LeBron James on the Rookie of the Year balloting, and actually had more points. And the rebounds was close. The assists was in LeBron's favor in that battle between those two.
Both fantastic seasons. I mean, no doubt that Carmelo Anthony's going to be an all-star plenty of years to come.
Nene had to give it up. Andre Miller's in some traffic, and he still got a shot over the big trees inside.
Andre Miller's done a great job here in the second half. He's got this team going a little bit with his mid-range jumpers.
Garnett off the feed from Sprewell, and a foul on Nene. Great look by Sprewell.
It's just that youth and inexperience there. And Nene's got to make that foul count. No way you could just touch Kevin Garnett on his hip and allow him to go straight to the bucket.
Well, both guys, both Camby and Nene, are a step slow on the rotations. They're trying to get out there and stop either Sprewell or Cassell on the pick and rolls. And the other big guys got to get over and not let Garnett get to the basket.
Garnett's got 14 points. He's 2 out of 4 from the free throw line. 7 assists to go with 4 rebounds. 3-point play for him. So the lead goes back to 15.
He's such a complete basketball player.
Miller's been the offense for the Nuggets this quarter, and continues to be. What a move on the baseline.
Wow. And he's brought his A game. Like Dan said, a little in-between action. Now that opens up the lanes. And Andre Miller with a beautiful finish.
That move was so good, it threw out Sam Cassell's back. Running down holding his disc. I think he slipped the disc.
And Minnesota steps on the sideline, turns it over. Watch Andre Miller. He has all 8 of Denver's points. That was pretty. In this quarter, he's got all 8.
The way he moves that ball in the air around the 2 shot blockers. That's Irvin Johnson, and Kevin Garnett, he lays that ball over.
This time he got into traffic and almost turned it over. Garnett and Johnson double team him on the inside.
Now, how many players in this league, much less point guards, can get that shot off? And you see Andre Miller this quarter, 8 points. How many guys can get their shot off over both Irvin Johnson and Kevin Garnett?
Andre, in his 5th year out of Utah, was the #1 draft choice of Cleveland. Number 8 pick in '98. Deshaun Leonard, they need him to heat back up like he did in the second quarter.
Yeah, but I've been watching Trenton Hassel, and his main job right now is to make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, he's denying him the ball, fighting through picks, and every time he gets the ball, he gets right out of him knowing that he's going to make the shot and put the ball on the floor.
He's hassling him, and he just forced a turnover. Cassell. Crowd looking for a foul on John Barry. Sam Cassell looking for a foul on John Barry.
He got checked out of bounds.
A fine, no call.
We're under 7 minutes in the third in a 13-point game.
Looked like the way you used to crush me when I was going to the basket. They call him Thunder because he fouled lightly.
Knocked out of bounds in front of the Minnesota bench with 10 on the shot clock.
Or I fouled you that way, either one.
No, I didn't play offense.
Sprewell against Barry on a fadeaway. Not a great shot. Camby tracks down the rebound in the corner. Andre Miller been feeling it this quarter. He'll try it over Cassell, but this one's short, and Garnett will snatch it off the glass.
See Camby mistime that rebound. If he catches it right, see a thunderous dunk.
There's a turnover, and now it's Deshaun Leonard in the open court with Garnett on him, and he blocks it out of bounds.
Well, you saw that handwriting on the wall as he got
I mean,
past the half court. You knew that wasn't going to be good for Sean Leonard.
Yeah.
He would have better just to stop and pop the three because you know the big ticket ain't letting him lay that one up.
Yeah, you're reading my mind. As soon as he caught that ball, I knew there was no way he's getting a shot. No way that KG is going to allow him to even get that ball near the glass.
Kevin Garnett had 178 block shots in the regular season. He swatted that one into the second row. Boykin's in there again at the guard spot. He's quick as a hiccup trying to get away from Cassell. Here's Stoliak outside.
Oh, Boykins will drive you nuts. He will drive you bananas. He's so quick. Sam Cassell did an excellent job staying in front of him. Staying in front of him that time.
Hey guys, it's only an 11-point game. Lo and behold, that one's off the mark. And the foul's going to be on Minnesota on the inside on Hassel. Another look from floor cam of Kevin Garnett sending Sean Leonard's shot into the crowd. But it's going to be Denver with the ball out of bounds when we come back, and the lead has been cut to 11.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by new V for Men Thickening Shampoo by L'Oreal Paris, because you're worth it. And Jeep, trail-rated capability, only in a Jeep 4x4.
Minnesota's first half 26-point lead's been cut to 11, and the Nuggets will have the ball out of bounds when we resume play with 5:43 to go in the third quarter. As we take a look at our Sprite mad skills, it's been a mad Andre Miller in this third quarter. He's been the catalyst right now, doing a variety of things and doing it very well to open this third quarter for Denver. He's hit from the outside from both ways. He's been the floor general out there, and he has 4 field goals in 5 attempts in this quarter alone, including that spinning move with a reverse layup, and he's got Denver back in the ballgame.
They're leading the team with 4 offensive rebounds, 10 for the team, which results in 15 second chance points for the Nuggets, which is keeping them in this game.
Was an All-American for Rick Majerus at Utah. We mentioned a #1 draft choice, the 8th overall pick of the Cleveland Cavaliers, traded to the Clippers last July, and now here in Denver. Averaged 15 points on the regular season and 6 assists, and he's been the man here in the third quarter.
Greg, you know you're allowing too many offensive rebounds when Earl Boykins has 6 for the series. He's only 5'5".
Sprewell had it halfway home, and Camby clears it off. That's 10 rebounds for Camby to go with his 13 points. Leonard is fouled inside. Let's check in with Michelle.
In the last huddle, guys, Kevin Garnett started to draw up a play on the whiteboard when he caught himself getting a bit fired up, so he dropped the whiteboard to the ground and sort of took a breath, and then Flip Saunders came into the huddle and said, look, let's get into our sets. We've turned it over 4 times here. We're trying to dribble through too many people, move the ball, and stay calm.
Good advice. And Sean Leonard had an opportunity from the free throw line to make this a single-digit game, but that won't happen now, even if he hits the second. And he does rip the second. Leonard, who played his college ball here in Minneapolis at the University of Minnesota, has 14 points.
Well, give the Nuggets some credit. When they were down 26, it looked like they were dead.
No doubt. And I remember Thunder saying they won't quit, and they haven't. And here's Miller again. Miller with 10 in the quarter.
You don't think the Nuggets have a little bit of confidence now?
Let me tell you who's been a quiet influence out here is Stoliak. Just on the screen and rolls, he's jumping Cassell hard, making him give up the ball, and that time Andre Miller gets the steal.
Last time it was under 10 points. There were 10 minutes left in the second quarter. It's under 10 here, 66-58. Hassel hit the side of the backboard, and Camby comes down with number 11.
But you're going to Trenton Hassel in the block when the Nuggets are making a run at you?
And your big three are out there. Denver not going away at all. Miller against Garnett. Not going to win that battle.
Take this ball to the bucket.
Camby got it, and he's fouled.
Every time the Nuggets go to the bucket, something good happens for them. It was in that first half when they started settling on outside jump shots. They lost their rhythm on the offensive end, and Minnesota was able to pull away. But look what's happening now. They're moving the basketball. They're right back in the ballgame.
A 7-0 run by Denver. They have stunned the sellout crowd in Minneapolis. The lead's down to 6. It might be 5 with the free throw when we come back.
Tonight on SportsCenter, verdict in. Why Jason Williams' future is still unclear. Barron looks to break the ice in Miami. A-Rod and the Rocket chase milestones and a not top 10 you can dance to. After the game, ESPN.
This update brought to you by Taco Bell. Kevin Frazier, Greg Anthony in the studio. Big Thursday for Glenn Doc Rivers. After he was announced as the Celtics' new head coach, he showed that baseball not his forte at the Red Sox Devil Rays game.
Yeah, I hope he can coach a little bit better than he can pitch.
Well, you know what? He's still moonlighting for ABC. And Sunday, it's GMC hang time followed by the Lakers and Spurs. Alan Doc will call that game. It's game one of one of the most anticipated series of this postseason.
Yeah, the three of us called Doc today on his cell phone and left a message after that pitch.
He needed to warm his shoulder up for about an hour.
He needed some rosin, because I hope that ball slipped. Or he threw a splitter and just got away from him. I don't know what happened there, but I think that's the last time he'll be doing that.
Camby misses a free throw. And still, in the last 12 minutes, Denver has outscored Minnesota 32-12. Camby blows an opportunity for a three-point play that could have made it a 5-point ball game. Sprewell over Camby. Madsen underneath, score. The Mad Dog. Let the Mad Dog hunt.
I tell you what, now it's time to give credit to the role players from Minnesota, because they've been doing all the dirty work. They've been giving you the offense in this second half. That missed badly by Latrell Sprewell. Look at the Mad Dog.
Madsen signed with the Timberwolves after his 3-year stint with the Lakers, coming out of Stanford. And his field goal breaks a 4-minute drought from the floor, and it's also a 3-point play for him. A big play for Minnesota to kind of get some life back in their game and this crowd. And right on cue, here comes the crowd for the chance of defense. Boykins gives it up to Doliak with 3 on the shot clock. Minnesota's Cassell rebounds.
And Madsen kept that ball away from Andre Miller. Fantastic job on the boards by Mark Madsen.
Kevin Garnett puts palms down as if to tell his guys, okay, let's calm down and get in our sets, as Michelle was talking about. He gives it up to Hoiberg. They work it around the perimeter. 3 on the shot clock. Garnett on a fadeaway from 18. And it's Camby with his, 13th rebound? 12th.
I'm telling you what, Doliak's doing a great job on KG. When he tries to post up, he's fronting him and using his body. And then he's going out there and making him shoot a jumper with a hand in his face.
Boykins got Sprewell in the air, but he missed the jump shot. And the foul is going to go against the Nuggets. Andre Miller. That's his second.
You know, just little costly mistakes by the Nuggets. They've had ample opportunity to really cut this lead down to 2 or 3, even tie the ball game. They just continue to make minor errors.
And have had way too many turnovers to this point. I mean, like you said, every possession is very important, especially this time of the game.
Cassell rattles one in and out. Camby again clears the glass. The lead is Minnesota by 9.
So especially with the big 3 looking like they've lost a little bit of that energy coming out of the locker room.
They need Leonard's offense, and he's provided no field goals in this quarter, but he does draw a foul there from Sprewell.
Good job by Bashan there, showing he's just not a shooter. Gave a little up fake, power his way to the basket, now going to the free throw line for 2 shots.
But just look at the body language of Kevin Garnett and Latrell Sprewell. They look like they're tired already. It takes a lot of energy out of you after you score buckets. It's an emotional first half, and you're running around the court yelling and screaming.
Sean Leonard misses another free throw. He's only 1 for 3 from the line. He was an 80%, 79% free throw shooter in the regular season, 80% in the playoffs up to this point. Denver, as you saw that graphic, only 3 out of 7 from the stripe. That's not helping their cause. The turnovers and missed free throws will kill you every time. He got the second. The big 3 have only 3 points this quarter, fellas, and they're all from Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, again, I mean, look at Cassell. Look at the way Sprewell's moving once the ball's out of their hands, and they look like they're a little tired.
And Doliak made sure that Garnett didn't get an easy 2 there as he picks up his second foul. You can get an all-access look at the NBA playoffs. Tune in to the NBA TV playoff show Destination Finals every weeknight on NBA TV. Brad Nessler, Dan Marley, Sean Elliott, Michelle Tafoya from Target Center in Minneapolis. Over 20,000 standing room only crowd looking on, hoping their Timberwolves for the first time in history can advance to round 2 of the playoffs. And they are right now up by 9. Kevin Garnett is unbelievably almost in his 9th year. He's approaching 28 years of age. This isn't necessarily a young Minnesota team, folks. When you talk about Sprewell, Cassell, and now the kid who's now the man, they're not young anymore. And they know this might be their year. They're the #1 seed. They lead by 10. We've got 2 minutes and change in the 3rd quarter. Camby. Boy, tough move by Camby.
Good move. He had Matson on, who's obviously a lot smaller. Instead of standing there and shooting a standstill jumper, took it to the basket and hit the leaner. 17
points, 13 rebounds for Camby. Not a bad night's work, and we've still got a quarter and change to go. Cassell's going to take a deep one. Garnett and Doliak battle for the board, and it'll be out of bounds to Minnesota.
You're the Nuggets. That ball goes up. You've got to put a body on somebody.
See here, Doliak fronting Garnett, not let him get a chance to get the ball. When the shot goes up, though, he has to go find Garnett and block him out, because obviously Garnett's going to jump just a little higher than he was.
Just a little bit. Let's see if he goes higher than Camby. Camby stayed with it. Doliak gets the rebound. Boykins ran into 3 white shirts, and all those guys were about a foot bigger than he is, or 2 feet.
Steve Javy saying, I need help. Steve, that was a foul.
Exactly. I mean, Boykins got swallowed in there.
I mean, he just aggressive. See, there's no way Hoiberg can stop a full-on speed of Boykins. He goes up and draws a foul, or should have been a foul. And Steve Javy said, I need some help, and they said, Denver ball.
He got boinked on the arm.
I mean, the cameraman can barely stay with him.
Earl's quick, and he's 5'5". Good player and fun to watch. Leonard still trying to get in the offensive gear that he was in the first half. Won't go for him. And now I think it's going to be Camby over the back, trying to battle for that rebound, and he picks up his 4th.
That's what I was talking about, Brad. You saw Matson there get a body on Camby, knowing he can't out-jump him. Put the body on him, let Camby go over his back, and he drew the foul.
With 1:15 left, we walk it down to the Minnesota end, and Mark Madsen will go to the free throw line. And that looked more like Mark Madsen we know from the free throw line. Sunday on TNT, if this game goes to Game 6, it would be Minnesota and Denver. Monday on TNT, we do know New Jersey and Detroit will get together in Game 1 of the 2nd round at Detroit, 8 o'clock Eastern.
New Jersey, best fast break in basketball. Sean?
Richard Jefferson, our man in the studio, one of the guys that makes it that way.
Well, who makes it that way is Jason Kidd, but that's not a bad guy to be finishing off the play.
That's what I meant.
Throwing it to both he and Kenyon Martin.
That's what I'm saying. Those guys are unbelievable. Detroit's going to have their hands full. It'll be a fun series to watch.
Detroit with that great defense. Can they stop New Jersey's fast break? Sean Leonard just inside the 3-point line. Doliak had his hands on the rebound and let it slip away. Final minute. Hassel got away with a travel, but it's coming back the other way anyway. John Barry sets up for 3 and got it. And they didn't even have a chance to boo him that time. Well, now they do.
Barry telling the crowd to be a little quiet, just enhancing his popularity here in Minnesota.
Timberwolves have missed 10 of their last 11 shots. And they definitely have let the Denver Nuggets back in the ballgame. John Barry has been around a while. In his 13th season out of Georgia Tech, telling everybody to quiet down. He loves it. He's a competitor, and he loves it. He doesn't mind what he's getting right now.
Make up your mind, John.
That's what it's all about, having some fun.
I tell you what, I'd take him on my team anytime because he's a gamer.
I'd take him on the golf course, too, unless somebody let me have Marley instead.
Yeah, he's going to probably bring Billy Andrade, so you would have to play real well.
That's true. That's true. I don't think I can handle that. I forgot about Billy being his brother-in-law. Garnett got them both. 7 in the quarter, 19 in the game for Kevin Garnett. Final 30 seconds of the third. Boykins will take it over Hoiberg. He's been off the mark tonight from the outside. He hasn't helped the cause much with his outside jumper. Garnett looks up at the clock. There's about a second difference. He'll pull it out and bring Doliak with him.
And the Nuggets need a big game out of Earl Boykins because he's been such a spark for them all year long.
Garnett now around Doliak, up in the air and charged.
He just undressed Doliak at the top of the key.
That was a great crossover, wasn't it? But he didn't. Once he got around Doliak, Miller was there to stop his progress. But that was a great crossover for a 7-footer.
You can give Doliak his clothes back after the game.
Plenty of time left.
Doliak's even laughing at himself. He's like, oh no, here it comes. Ow.
Here comes Boykins. Final seconds. He'll take a 3. Nope, it's a 2. He missed it. Garnett with the rebound in the third quarter comes to a close. 74-66. Kevin Garnett with a big quarter, 19 for the game. The Minnesota Timberwolves can almost taste it now. They're 12 minutes away from finally advancing to round 2. It'll be a big 12 minutes when we come back.
Welcome back to 20th Century Fox's presentation of ESPN's Play Like There's No Tomorrow.
Back in Minnesota, where the fans here are getting a little worried as the score is now 74-66. Remember, this is a Minnesota Timberwolves team that has never advanced beyond the first round of the playoffs. And this has been the most promising season in this franchise's history. Now, the team is thinking long-term. The team is thinking NBA championship. But these fans are thinking, we want to be here for history. We've been here for 15 years, waiting for this team to prove itself, waiting for this team to get out of the first round. They've been through a lot of bad eras. They've been through the death of Malik Sealy, the J.R. Rider era, the near sale of the team 10 years ago to New Orleans. It's all been bad. Tonight it could be good. They all want to be here for that moment, guys.
Well said, Mr. Foya. As we open the fourth quarter, Minnesota in front, but their lead a more precarious one than it was in the first half by far.
Kevin Garnett was the only one of the big 3 that scored in that third quarter. Had it not been for Irvin Johnson and Trenton Hassel, they would have only gotten points from one person.
And now it's Hassel with a jump shot again, and that's still not what you want to live on for this team. You want to live on that.
And Garnett got away with a push there on Camby, pushed him back, was able to get the offensive rebound, got him a second chance point.
Another 4-minute plus field goal drought snapped by Garnett. And again, the crowd comes to life. Timberwolves lead by 10. And Denver turns it over.
John Barry had a layup. We both looked at each other like he should have just laid that ball up.
See here on the shot, you're going to see Garnett. Couldn't see it, push him in the back there right now. Get the tip to Matson. Garnett picks it up and finishes it with the slam.
Well, Matson keeps that ball alive. He was the other Timberwolf who scored in that quarter as well.
Garnett in the paint. Foul.
Matson's one of 10 children, so he's used to fighting for food and bed space and all that other kind of stuff. So when that ball's on the floor, you know he's going to go get it like it's a piece of steak or something.
Garnett fouled by Camby. It's his 5th.
Or walleye or whatever they eat here in Minnesota.
Well, I had some walleye fingers last night. I really didn't know. I fished a lot up here, and I didn't know walleye had fingers, but they were pretty tasty. I was going to try to do the daily double with the wild rice soup today, but I thought maybe you guys would take me out afterwards.
Might have to go out for some hot dish, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, you betcha, you know. Garnett hits a free throw, his 6th straight free throw. And through 3 quarters, the Nuggets with 17 turnovers. And Garnett's been the man. Had a quiet 4-point first quarter when Cassell and Sprewell were doing most of the damage, but he's taken over since. And again, the chance of MVP as he hits both free throws. 23 for Garnett. Carmelo Anthony can only look on in street clothes. It's a 12-point game.
That's where Minnesota has been able to maintain their lead at the free throw line because the Nuggets have outshot them. They've got more attempts, and they're shooting the same free throw percentage. Just a huge disparity from the free throw line.
4 on the shot clock. Miller is going to have to let it fly. Just got it away, and he hit it. just inside the three-point line.
Bad offense, but Andre Miller to the rescue.
Andre's got 19, 12 this half. Keeps it a 10-point game with just over 10 to go. Garnett over Doliak, counting.
And that's about all Doliak could do there. He forced him out on the perimeter. Garnett caught it, shot the turnaround. So just a great move by a great player.
But you got to make somebody else beat you, because Kevin Garnett gets 2 or 3 dribbles down in the block area. There's got to be some type of help that comes over.
Garnett's got all of Minnesota's points this quarter.
He's MVP.
Boykins with his first field goal of the second half.
You gonna let your MVP go
I agree.
one-on-one
I think
against
you got to
Doliak?
bring off somebody off a Hassel or Matson to go over there and make it give up the ball. But I'm in total agreement with you, Sean, for once.
It's nice to hear you two getting along.
You agree with me all the time. You know that.
Garnett gives it up. And now it's Madsen underneath on the dish from Hassel.
And there's the two guys that we talked about. Andre Miller came off a Hassel. They rotated. He found Madsen underneath the basket.
Mad Dog's got 8 points. Boykins for 3. And Hassel with a rebound. Remember, Minnesota is without Wally Zerbiak, who has 3 cracked transverse process vertebrae in the lumbar region of his back, suffered earlier in this series. He may get back in time to play, depending on how deep Minnesota would go into the playoffs. And then Troy Hudson, who had all kinds of injury problems all season long. As you take a look at Wally on the sideline in street clothes, he hopes to be back. He hopes Minnesota advances to give him the chance. Right now, they're 8 minutes and 49 seconds away from doing just that.
The NBA playoffs on ESPN continues in a moment. ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by The Day After Tomorrow. When it's all on the line, play like there's no tomorrow. Infinity, makers of the full-size QX56. And Miller. Vote Miller for president of beers. Good call.
8:49 remaining in the ball game. Sold out Target Center. Minnesota leads by 12. Kevin McHale, president of basketball operations, general manager, and a former star with the Gophers. In fact, he and Flip Saunders played 1 year together at the University of Minnesota, and now his team is close to round 2. Michelle?
Well, guys, as serene and calm and focused as Kevin Garnett is before the game, which we showed you, right now he has been incredibly animated in the huddles, taking a leadership role, demanding the ball for moments like that and saying, there's just 8 more minutes. Give me the ball. 8 more minutes. I'll get open.
If he's going to do that, I'd give it to him every trip.
Well, he looks focused. That was an unbelievable shot.
A line drive for his 27th point.
He probably got fouled, too, on his way up.
Well, he knows this is his time. I mean, they've waited a long time for this, and he wants to bring it home himself.
It's his time, and it's his team. Madsen with a rebound. And now Hoiberg will wait for help and give it right back to KG. Working on Nene. Now double team. Got a pass away. Somehow Hassel to Madsen, and Madsen fouled by Miller.
Minnesota's just doing a fantastic job of moving the basketball, playing off Kevin Garnett. When he gets double teamed, he gets that ball out to somebody who can do something with it. It's Hassel. Look at the pass to Mark Madsen.
Kevin Garnett will look on as Madsen, a 48% free throw shooter.
It's like when your hips and your arms are just out of sync. I mean, his hips are moving, his legs are moving.
Kind of looks like that dance he used to do after the Lakers.
I sure hope he's not going to dance tonight if they win.
I don't know. They'll be dancing in Minneapolis outside. Missed them both. Under 8 minutes, 84-70. Hassel again has given Vashawn Leonard no room this half. Nene walked with it. Turnovers the Nuggets cannot afford right now.
No, they need every shot at the basket they can get. This is a critical time of the game. Obviously, the Wolves are up 14, and they're starting to smell victory.
Starting to smell that second round.
That would be the Sacramento Kings in here this week. Minnesota is the only team to have beaten Sacramento twice at Arco this year. Looks like they might get a couple more cracks at it. Sprewell, his first field goal of the second half. Timeout Denver. Everybody up in Minneapolis. The Timberwolves lead by 16.
Tonight on SportsCenter, verdict in. Why Jason Williams' future is still unclear. Barron looks to break the ice in Miami. A-Rod and the Rocket chase milestones, and a not top 10 you can dance to. After the game, ESPN.
The Timberwolves lead the Nuggets by 16. 7:20 remaining in the ball game. This is game 5. The first 4 went like this. Minnesota behind Sam Cassell's 40 won the first one. They won the second one here at home, 95-81. It was a 20, 22, and 10 triple-double for Kevin Garnett. Then they lost in Denver, 107-86. That's when a lot of the talking started. Carmelo Anthony led the way for Denver in that one. And then in a tough, hard-fought, physical two-point battle in game 4, it was Minnesota surviving behind Garnett's 27-14. And now here they are, just 7 minutes and change away from advancing to the second round for the first time in their history. Every possession is critical for Denver right now. Nice feed by Doliak inside. And Camby looking for a foul on top of hitting the shot. 19 for Marcus. Timberwolves have now hit their last 5 shots after having a dry spell in the third quarter and early in the fourth.
And this guy here on the block has kept them alive in the second half.
Andre Miller thinks he had all ball there, and he's going to get the foul call on him. That's his 4th.
Well, I should say he's carried the torch for him here in the second half. And that's what you want out of your MVP. You don't want a guy to shy away from the basketball. He's bringing the ball up. He's initiating the offense. He's running to the block area. He's running the offense from the block area. When he gets double teamed, he's getting that ball out and setting up his teammates. He's just done a fantastic job.
Garnett's hit 9 free throws tonight in 11 attempts. Misses that one, but when you look at the free throw difference, Kevin Garnett's going to the line as an individual probably about half as much. Oh, he has gone more than the Nuggets have all night.
And that's the story of the game. I mean, the Timberwolves getting to the free throw line so much more in Denver, and that's just something that Denver used to do real well in the regular season. They were a team that got to the line. They haven't been able to do that in this series.
When you have one guy making more free throws than the other teams attempted, you know you're in trouble.
It's 25-8 in favor of the Timberwolves. I mean, it's amazing.
They're plus 15 on the free throws tonight, and that just happens to be the difference in our score.
And Garnett, you know, he has 28 points here, but they're almost quiet after that first quarter outburst by Sprewell and Cassell. But quietly, Kevin Garnett is the leading scorer by a long shot.
Madsen picks up the foul. Kevin Garnett, who in October signed a 5-year contract extension in the offseason, said that I need help. The help came in the form of Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell, and there's the owner, Glenn Taylor, of this team. The proudful owner and guy who a self-made man in Mankato, Minnesota, and has given Kevin McHale everything he's needed to put together the team they have, and they're closing in on round 2. 6 minutes to go.
I'll tell you what, Mark Madsen has been a real bonus for the Timberwolves this second half.
Boy, is he ever. Doing a lot of the dirty work and even some of the clean stuff. Boykins got it. Earl's got 8s.
If you're Denver right now, you got to put some type of ball pressure on the Timberwolves bringing the ball up the court. But what do? You leave Doliak to
yeah, that's why they got Garnett bringing up that ball, so they don't have any of that pressure.
The shot, Leonard strips Hassel, and that is fouled. Let's check in with Michelle.
Well, I spoke with Irvin Johnson at length yesterday. You know, he was a grocery store clerk after high school for 3 years. Just planned on being a manager, but then it struck him one day. I've got to go back to school. And he went to New Orleans where he got a chance to play basketball. The rest is history. But he told me that last year when he was watching the Wolves play the Lakers in the first round and he knew Kevin Garnett's story, he sat there cheering for Garnett, cheering for the Wolves. And he said, I just want to help that guy. Now he's here. He's been a big part of these playoffs. But guys, he broke down when he talked to me. He actually fought tears very unsuccessfully as he said, you know, I just really want to help people. That's what my life is about. I'm so glad I got a chance to help Kevin Garnett.
You know, I should have mentioned that because he came, I said the help came in the form of Sprewell and Cassell. He came with Cassell from the Bucks in June for Anthony Peeler and Joe Smith. And he's been a starter at that center spot, so he has been a big help.
Well, he's taken over from Michael Olowokandi. You know, again, he's done a fantastic job playing defense for this team, and that's what they sorely need in the middle.
And remember, they had Ratko Nesterovic last year, too, as a big man.
Wow. Give Sam Cassell a tourniquet. He's got butchered.
Well, what Javi said is he said he jumped into Doliak.
Okay. Sam's not going to give the ball up.
I'm just telling you what he said.
Take off some of that
he's right.
Yeah, Jesus. Pick up your forearm off the ground, please.
5 minutes left. Denver needs some offense, and they need it in a hurry. Miller got him 2 more. Boy, what a second half he's had.
If I was Andre Miller, I would have taken that ball come third quarter with the hot hand, told everybody, give me the ball and get out of the way.
Career playoff high for Andre. He's got 21. 11-point game, double teaming Cassell momentarily almost walked with it. Now it's Garnett with 5 on the shot clock. Kicks it out to Hoiberg for 3, and he got it.
The kid to the mayor.
He used the mayor after that shot.
The first 3-pointer of the second half for Minnesota.
Wow, how about that? Saw this shot in the first half.
Boykins, he'll try a 3 of his own, and he knocks it down.
And Sam Cassell saying to Javi, wait a minute, you called a foul on me for jumping into Doliak, and there, Bashan Leonard just bowed into me and didn't call a thing.
Let him play.
Steve Javi and Sam Cassell have a nice chat all the way up court before Andre Miller meets him defensively. Now he's double teamed again, and he calls timeout with 3:41 remaining in the ball game. 11-point difference. Flip Saunders wants a little explanation from the officials too. They're going to flip in Minnesota if they can hold out of this lead in the last 3:41.
Kevin Frazier and Greg Anthony in the studio. Our Wendy's plays of the night, and they come from Game 5 between the Hornets and Heat. And what a fantastic game, Greg.
Oh, no question. You had enough plays tonight in this game for the entire playoffs season. So, amazing basketball game.
Dwayne Wade, your game winner there. The Heat take a 3-2 lead.
Fellas, here it's 3-1. It's only 3 minutes and 41 seconds away from being over. And Flip Saunders, an Ohio native who was a star for the University of Minnesota, coached at Golden Valley Junior College out here in the suburbs, then an assistant with Minnesota, then at Tulsa before going to the CBA. You talk about a guy that earned his stripes. 2 CBA titles and the 5th winningest coach in that league. And now in his 9th year, he's just 3.5 minutes away from finally seeing his team advance. And we asked him about it today and said, you know, do you look at that? Do you look at the possibility of going into round 2? And he said, you know what? We've got 10 new guys on this team from last year. Half of them don't even know who we lost to last year in the playoffs. So it's a whole different thing. 90-79. Sports Center's coming up next. The verdict is in. The Heat's on. And the Rocket against Barry Bonds. Always a great matchup. That comes your way in 3.5 minutes. And a whistle and a foul against Minnesota. Will be on Sprewell.
Sprewell for a little hold there as Vashon was trying to work himself off the screen. Sean, you all right? You almost fell off the platform over here.
I know I did.
Pipe her down.
They don't give us any room back here. Don't they know that there's big people sitting over here in this booth?
Should have seen the table they had before I complained earlier today. I would have been doing the game by myself. Cassell bumped by Miller on the way down court. And that's Andre's 5th. And now he chats a little with Sam Cassell.
Yeah, just a little bit. Little bump there, and Sam.
That was more of a flop than Geely. I'm telling you, that was a flop.
Yes, it was.
Cassell to the free throw line. Sam has not scored in the second half until now. He had 2 championships with Houston to start his career. So he not only has playoff experience, he's been to the big game and seen it won. All NBA second-team performer this year. Well deserved. In his 11th season out of Florida State, he hits both free throws, 92-79, and we've got 3 left.
2 titles for Sam Cassell. And in those titles, he did a fantastic job. I mean, he had a lot of big shots for that Houston Rockets team.
Boy, don't I know it. I mean, when I was with Phoenix Suns, we had that Houston Rocket team down 2-0 the first year, and then we had them down 2-0 again the second year. And because mainly of Hakeem and this guy right here, Sam Cassell, they came back and won a championship. So well-deserved of all the recognition he's getting, especially this year.
Well, we had beaten them that one year, 95. We beat the Rockets during the regular season and won exhibition games 6 out of 7 times. They came back in the playoffs, beat us the first 2. We came back and beat them the next 2, and they won the next 2. And they just, you know, they were a playoff team. They knew how to handle the pressure. Sam Cassell was a big part of that.
Earl Boykins at the free throw line hit the last one. I don't want to say Earl Small, but I can't see him around our camera guy. That's right to my left. There, he just ducked, thanks. And he got them both.
No offense to all the small people.
That's right. Yeah, we don't want to offend anybody. We would never do that. An 11-point game. And in 3 minutes, Earl Boykins might be available to ride at Churchill Downs tomorrow. Minnesota's that close.
But he's not that small. He's 5'5", right?
Yeah.
So that's average height for the normal person. So you see what
5'5" is the average height?
About. So you see what the normal person come out of the stands would look like on an NBA court. How many times people tell me they see me in person, they say, I can't believe you're that tall.
Boykins trying to get around Hoiberg, can't. Camby has to take the long shot with the shot clock winding down, and he knocked it home. Wow, what a game for Marcus Camby. It's probably going to be in a losing effort. We don't know yet, but...
And Andre Miller's calling out for somebody to come double team the ball. They know they got to get this ball out of Sam Cassell's hands.
Cassell goes all the way to the hole with it. 20 for Sam. A timeout with 1:57 to go. The big 3, 20 for Cassell, 17 for Sprewell, and 28 for Kevin Garnett. Less than 2 minutes to play in Minneapolis.
You're watching the NBA playoffs on ESPN.
$20,000 at Target Center have been on their feet the entire timeout. A game that was about validation coming in. A franchise and its fans that have been starved for that validation that comes with a playoff series win. And when you're starving, the delicacy is just getting out of round 1. They can taste it right now. Sprewell, Cassell, and Garnett. That's what I talked about going to the break. They have 65 of the 94 right now for the Timberwolves. Boykins boinked a 3 off the front of the iron. Minnesota will take its time.
The clock is their ally. Denver's looks like they've conceded already.
The fans are on their feet, and I doubt that you'll see them sitting down.
Sprewell on a fadeaway, and he got it. When they all score 20 or more, and I'm talking about Cassell, Sprewell, and Garnett, the Timberwolves almost always win. And now Sprewell's a free throw away from his 20th.
And you heard that noise, right? That was the door slamming.
Point game, less than a minute and a half. Leonard, deep three. Goliak keeps it alive. Boykins can't get a shot over Hoiberg. Now he takes it and scores.
I was about to say, Denver didn't have all day.
Back to 10 points with 1:09 left. Sports Center follows our game. 69 seconds left at Target Center. Sam Cassell will go to the free throw line. He has 20 points in the ball game.
This guy's pretty much automatic from the line.
87% of the regular season for Sam. 22nd timeout taken by Denver here.
There's Herman Munster. Kevin McHale.
10-point game right here. Let's go to Sports Center. Neil and Steve. Fellas.
Hey there, Steve Berthew, Neil Everett along the way, ready to bring you Sports Center as soon as the Timberwolves finish off the Denver Nuggets. We're coming your way right after the game. You know, I was playing college football video game all day, so I feel like I've been talking to Brad Nessler the entire day.
Hey, man, EA Sports, it's in the game. We're almost done with this game. Denver trying to stay in the game. Kiki Vandeweghe looking on, his team a decade removed from the playoffs. The tremendous improvement from last year to this. Then even stealing a game. Well, you don't want to call it stealing a game. They hammered Minnesota in game 3. Lost a heartbreaker in game 4. Then there was a lot of talk before it came back here on this Friday evening. And Minnesota 7 times has tried and 7 times has failed to get to round 2. They are 69 seconds away from taking that King Kong-sized monkey off their back. You couldn't go to the Como Park Zoo and find a monkey bigger than what Minnesota's carrying.
It's not a monkey,
history.
it's a silverback.
And as Dan said, nobody has taken a seat in this arena in about the last 5 minutes. They all want to be part of it. As Michelle so beautifully put it earlier, they've waited and waited and waited and always been disappointed. And now they are 1 minute away. And then it's Sacramento time. Boykins. Wow. Ripped another 3. His last 3 three-pointers have gone. And he has had a sensational fourth quarter. 19 points for the little guy. A career playoff high.
Wow. Well, you got to give Denver credit not only for the way they've played all year long, but in this series. I mean, they've never backed down from anybody. They played hard for 48 minutes, and just a great year for the Denver Nuggets and Coach Jeff Bzdelik and the young rookie Carmelo Anthony and all the role players that they have. They can be very proud of what they've done this year.
Well, you know, first off, they were supposed to lose this series, but they didn't care about that. They came into this thing, they competed every single ball game. They tested this Minnesota Timberwolves team, and they had a chance to come into this game all even.
Well, as John Barry said, a lot of the talking started when Minnesota was celebrating their victory the other night. They said, hey, you know what? They're the #1 seed. We're not supposed to win. Minnesota's supposed to win. Camby keeps it alive. We're down to 40 seconds. Leonard up and under, missed the scoop shot. Cassell the rebound. And now the crowd coming to life. 35 seconds left. The party's almost ready to begin. Normally in this state, a springtime celebration is when the ice freezes off the lakes. They finally have something else to cheer about.
I'll tell you what, Kevin Garnett did a fantastic job today. He picked up his team in the second half and carried them when the other two big guns were fatigued. They were exhausted. KG came through for this organization.
12 out of 12 from the free throw line for Sam I Am. Cassell, 34.8 left. Timeout. If those aren't MVP numbers, I really don't know what are. To 89. Remember the monkey we talked about that Minnesota wanted to get off its back? There it is, right at target center, and it is gone. Kevin McHale can't even stand to watch in Denver as Minnesota headed to the locker room the other night after Game 4. Some of the fans were throwing beer on some of the Minnesota players, and as only Kevin McHale could put it, being a Minnesota guy, said, you know what, in Minnesota, we don't waste good beer. I think there might be just a couple cracked in about 35 seconds.
And well-deserved. This team has played well all year long, and the monkey is off the back, and it'll be interesting to see how they react going into the second round after this emotional win here.
Three-pointer doesn't go. Steve and Neil are standing by on SportsCenter as Vashawn Leonard has his first field goal of the second half. That's how well he's been defended by Hassel mostly in the game. And now Andre Miller with a little bump foul over in front of the Denver Nugget bench. That's 6 on Andre Miller.
Is there any more reason to foul here? I mean, usually you use it to try to get back in the ball game, but this game's over. Just prolonging the inevitable.
Kevin Garnett still has that pensive look on his face, even though you know the celebration inside him is about to begin. Michelle?
When Kevin Garnett, Brad, came to the bench, he high-fived everyone, from his coach all the way down to the equipment managers who were sitting on the floor by the bench. This is a guy that all of his teammates say treats the 12th player on the bench just like he would want to be treated. Generous. He gives of his time. I'm sure that his teammates couldn't be happier for this moment.
The license plate here in Minnesota that some of the folks would love to put on their car as a prestige plate simply says KG4 MVP.
Well, he's supposed to high-five everybody coming out of the game. You're the captain.
Martin missed 2 free throws.
Captain.
White with a 3. Minnesota with a rebound. Get out the walleye, the wild rice soup, and the cold beverages. Minnesota's Timberwolves are going to the second round of the playoffs. Our congratulations to them. The Sacramento Kings are next. Let the party begin in Minneapolis. A tough physical series. All the smack talk is behind them now. Minnesota appreciates that the Nuggets never gave up, and the Nuggets gave Minnesota all they had. Minus Carmelo Anthony tonight, they didn't have enough. But even with him, I think it was Freewell, Cassell, and Garnett's time tonight. To Michelle Tafoya.
Okay, well, it's a little crazy down here, but Kevin, you've been here through every first round and lost every one of them. What is this moment like?
It feels good. I'm not even going to front, Michelle. I know it's a bigger task at hand, but it feels good.
You said that you wanted to do this as much for the team as these fans.
Say it again, Michelle.
You said you wanted to do this as much for the team as for these fans. Yeah. They've been so supportive. What was this crowd like tonight?
What you have to understand, it's not individual. You know, teams make everything, and without team, there's no me, there's no you, there's no nothing. And you know, this is not for me, it's not for Sam, this is for everybody in here. This is for everybody who's been with KG. This is for everybody who love the Timberwolves. This is for everybody who feel me right now. This is for everybody.
And I know you want to celebrate, but before we let you go, when do you start thinking about Sacramento?
Tomorrow. I mean, like I said, I'm very happy, but I know we have to go to the second round, and everything from here and from now is just new to me, so I'm eager, but I'm very happy.
Congratulations, Kevin.
What's up, Ma? Everybody at SC basketball.
The kid is the man tonight. 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 7 assists, the average through this series for Kevin Garnett. They go on to round 2 against Sacramento. 102-91 is the final. Don't forget Miami against New Orleans coming up tomorrow, Sunday rather, 1 o'clock on ESPN. The guys have been waiting patiently in Sports Center. It is next. Right now for Dan Marley, Sean Elliott, Michelle Tafoya. From the Target Center in Minneapolis, the Timberwolves go to round 2. Brad Nessler, good night.